What is up, guys? Happy Sunday, week 8, October 28th. Thank you for joining me this morning. We're going to hang out for a little bit. You guys can get your questions in the chat room. I'm going to read some of the player inactive active news. We got some bangers. This is a wild week. Not only do we have 6 teams on bye week, so we're stressing, with a lot of weird flex decisions, but man, oh man, there's a lot of star power that we are missing from today. Week 8. So I'm gonna hit refresh here on the Underdog feed. Get your questions in the chat. I will get to them shortly. It looks like David Njoku active for week 8, so that's gonna take a little bit of the steam off of Harold Fannin. I had Njoku kind of more of like on the doubtful side, of things, but now it's looking like those two guys will kind of eat into each other. But hey, it's National Tight Ends Day, so don't forget about that, guys. It's not terrible to flex a tight end today. I think last year I was watching NFL Network and they said last year on National Tight Ends Day, it was the greatest amount of production from the tight ends in NFL history. So it's a real thing. National Tight Ends Day. I think Njoku and Fannin are both optional tight end ones for you. DeAndre Swift active today. Bills still don't have Matt Milano. Dalton Kincaid is active. He's a top 5 tight end option for you against Carolina. No Shadur. Who cares? Here's the big one. Drake London inactive. Of course, Kirk Cousins is starting today's game. This makes Darnell Mooney a pretty good decision in your lineup as a flex or wide receiver 3. This makes Kyle Pitts, National Tight Ends Day, makes Kyle Pitts maybe a top 5 tight end option for Kirk Cousins. So, it's going to be a huge Bijan game. And I do think Tyler Algier is actually a good start as well today. So tough news for Drake London. He's not playing. I think I got to go change a couple lineups with that news. Max Crosby, whatever. Jalen Hyatt inactive. This is really so tip of the hat. I really like it. Like, this is a Sunday night game, the Packers. And we did see Matthew Golden pop up on the practice report on Friday as questionable. And this is really good. He's expected to play week 8. This is what I was waiting for in a couple leagues. So thank you for doing that, Packers, and giving us the tip of the hat so we can make some good decisions this week. And then Christian Watson will play. I don't think I want to play him. Again, I know it's the bye week and you guys have a lot of flexy type questions, but Christian Watson, I can't, Dontavian Wicks is out, so there's an opportunity for Watson to rotate in as wide receiver 3 with Malik Heath. Maybe Savion Williams gets some more snaps. I just don't think we want to play Christian Watson yet. Unless you're desperate and you just want a chance at a touchdown, that's fine. But we need to see what Watson looks like before we trust him. Tua's got an illness. He's expected to start. He's almost not even usable in a super flex league. McCarthy, whatever. Rashid Shaheed, maybe a trade opportunity. We'll see. And then they're saying A.J. Brown should play next week. Mason Taylor is likely to play. Breece Hall expected to play. Yeah. And then we did get the news. I like the Saturday night dump. I'll get to your questions soon here, but I'm just refreshing my feed. Trey Hendrickson active, and Tyler Algier, Mason Taylor, Breece Hall active. So some good news for you guys there. We got some actives rolling through here. So I will get to some questions here. Good morning to Harvey. Hope you're doing well, my man. Start 2, Judkins, Dobbins, and Tet McMillan. So in this kind of question, I'm usually going to defer to the running backs. You have J.K. Dobbins with an awesome matchup against Dallas today, and we know we want to pick on that defense. I think both Javonte and J.K. Dobbins are going to have a nice day today. If I go to the fantasy points allowed here, you want to attack Dallas. So I really like J.K. Dobbins today in terms of just maybe getting a touchdown, getting his volume, that kind of stuff. The Cowboys do rank 30th here against opponent running backs. They allow about 27 points per game. They actually allow a lot of receptions too. So that might be a little note for Harvey, but they do allow rushing yards and some rushing touchdowns. So I really like J.K. Dobbins today. The New England Patriots are pretty stingy against opponent running backs, but I just don't think you sit Quinshon Judkins, man. If he's going to get the ball 20 plus times, I think you got to take that. I'm going to take the 2 running backs here in this question. I still like Tet McMillan. It's Andy Dalton. Andy's been, known to kind of fire it in there and pummel his guys with targets, but I think you got to take the 2 running backs in one. Judkins has the volume and Dobbins has the matchup. I think that's where I'm going to sit. As far as the matchup for Tet McMillan going up against Buffalo, we're not scared of Buffalo's defense, but they are in the better half of opponent, against wide receivers. So I think you start the running backs, Harvey. Oh, baby. I both, almost 40-year-old quarterbacks. I think you take the Joe Flacco. Like, I was looking at the Flacco props, and they're basically giving him 2 passing touchdowns today. I think the opportunity for Kirk to really hand the ball off to Bijan and Algier is going to exist. And teams usually funnel the run against the Miami Dolphins. Like, they've allowed, I think this is the most rushing yards in the league, almost 900 rushing yards against the Dolphins. That's kind of where you want to attack them. So I'm expecting, you can kind of see here too. Quarterbacks do have touchdowns here, but with Drake London out, I'm not going to go with Kirk. I'm going to go Joe Flacco pretty easily, Chase. Otten or Waddle, full flex PPR. And it is National Tight Ends Day. I do think the absence of Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, we did see Cade Otten kind of come to life last week on Monday Night Football. The matchup for Cade Otten, average against the Saints, they've allowed about 13.5 points per game to the tight end. Jalen Waddle, on the other hand, we have to trust Tua Tagovailoa, which is kind of scary. Atlanta's got a really good defense against opponent wide receivers here, so I'm not afraid of going Cade Otten if you think that's where it's going to be. Jalen Waddle has had some nice games. If you forget about last week, he was building some nice, stat lines without Tyreek for a couple games. But I'm kind of thinking just National Tight Ends Day. I think I'm going with Cade Otten here. It's a really close call. I'm going to lean Cade Otten here and have a little fun with it. And yes, David, Tyler Algier is in. I do think he's not like a top 25 running back in my rankings, but he's like top 30. Like, he's going to get volume today. I expect him to maybe get up to 7 to 10 carries and a good chance at a touchdown at the end of the game. So he is their closer. I think if you need running back help this week, Tyler Algier is totally fine as a running back 2 or a flex. Who do I place an emergency start for London? Well, I can go here. Let's take a peek here. And I'm just pulling up the Fellowship Money League here. I'm just going to go to add players and see what receivers might be available in a deeper kind of league here. I think Alec Pierce. So if you need a replacement for Drake London, it's nice to see Darius Slayton back too. I think he could be kind of fun. Maybe one of the Houston receivers. I don't have a lot of trust in these guys. Honestly, if you need a receiver, Alec Pierce, Marvin Mims, those were 2 guys that I was looking at this week. You can maybe try Jahan Dotson today. I think Darius Slayton against Philadelphia is not a bad opportunity as well. I'm going to open up the net here and see if I can find some deeper guys for us that might be low owned. So if we're replacing Drake London, Darnell Mooney would be sweet. I think Jalen Noel, Chimere DK would be fine. Malik Washington maybe today, full PPR. I think Hutchinson's fine, but he doesn't earn a lot of targets. You need a big play from him. I think Xavier Legette, Darius Slayton, maybe Calvin Austin tonight would be kind of fun. Otherwise, like Harris, like if you have the opportunity to start a tight end instead, I think the tight ends this week are kind of fun. Whether you go pick up Juwan Johnson, Theo Johnson, maybe Mason Taylor today, maybe one of the Steelers tight ends. And actually, I do like Noah Fant. Noah Fant has been a steady contributor the last few games. In every game that he's played, I think he got hurt in this Detroit game, but 4, 3, 5, 4, 4 receptions. Like Noah Fant has been fine in terms of just getting volume and things like that. So I don't know, man. I would need to know who's available here, Harris, for you. You can send me your options if you need some help. Start 2 full PPR. We got Fannin, Njoku, and Theo. Man, there's no way I can get this one right, Chase. You know that. I think you're playing Theo Johnson today. Jackson Dart with his tight ends has been pretty impressive. And you look at Theo Johnson, he's been catching touchdowns. He's got 4 touchdowns in his last 4 games with Jackson Dart. And seeing 1 game of volume, but the 7, 7, 5, 4 targets, I like that. And he didn't really play well against the Eagles back in week 6. But I think you play Theo Johnson here, just hoping for the touchdown. And then between Fannin and Njoku, I'm going to lean Harold Fannin. Just Njoku was questionable coming into this game. Hasn't really done much all season. And Harold Fannin's been pretty solid. and he might even be the guy that leads the team in tight end snaps and routes. So I'm thinking it's Theo, Fannin, and Njoku is how I would rank these guys for you. Oh man, Fields or Caleb. I don't have a lot of faith in Justin Fields today, man. No Garrett Wilson, no Josh Reynolds. I do like the matchup against Cincinnati. Like Fields could maybe just run the ball like crazy, but we've had some really low lows here, 4, 4, and a 3. I don't know if I like playing with fire here. Yeah, you can get 25 to 30 points, but you could also get 3 or 4. I'm expecting him to finish this game, which is nice. He's not going to get pulled for Tyrod, who's not playing. But I think you take Caleb Williams here, who's had just one bad game throughout the season, and it's against the Ravens. Ravens have been pretty bad. Like here, you can see they rank 31st against opponent QBs. I think you play Caleb today over Fields. No, you're gonna stick with Jalen with Tyler Warren here. Tyler Warren continues to just dominate pretty much everything. The targets are there. 4 or 5 catches today. He gets carries at the goal line too. Like I think you play Tyler Warren. But Pitts, I still like Pitts, but I think Tyler Warren is the guy that you gotta go with here. Would you rather start a 10 over Slayton, Noel, and Austin? Um Jalen Warren, not Tyler Warren. Okay, my bad. Hmm. Packers are one of the best teams against running backs right now. You can. Oh, why is that blue? Why is that blue? All right, Packers third best team against running backs. They've allowed 2 rushing touchdowns, no receiving touchdowns. Warren's been getting good volume and things like that. So I do like his floor, but in a tight end premium, I think I'm going Kyle Pitts today, man. Miami, bad. They ranked 24th against tight end. I think you go Kyle Pitts today there, Chase. All right. Would you rather start a tight end? I would need to know the tight end options, Harris. Yeah, I would need to know the tight end options. I think between Slayton, Noel, and Austin, I do like Jalen Noel quite a bit. He was a guy that I was excited about as a rookie coming in. San Francisco, their defense is kind of middle of the road against wide receivers, so like I kind of like Jalen Noel today. Calvin Austin's first game back. Packers defense, I do think Rodgers is going to throw the ball and be competitive here. So I'm thinking it's Noel and Austin over Slayton for me. If you're looking at Smith, Johnson, and Johnson, I think I'm going Jawan Johnson here in this case. I do like Theo, but I think I'm going Jawan Johnson, who he kind of struggled the last few weeks here, but 5 for 79 on 7 targets. It's National Tight Ends Day, so I'm going to lean into this. Smith, Jonnu Smith maybe tonight though. Just the thing is with Jonnu is he's not getting volume. He hasn't had more than 27 yards in a game. He did have 5 and 4 catches up here, but his ceiling is not that great. Whereas Jawan Johnson, we're seeing 76, 79 yards, upwards of 5 to 8 catches. He's kind of due for a touchdown here too. And he's had 4 games of double digits. With Theo Johnson, I do like the touchdown bender that he's been on. So it's one of the Johnsons for me. I think if you want to go for the ceiling, you go with Theo. If you want kind of the safe play that could be volume plus the best ceiling, it's going to be Jawan. I'm going to lean Jawan Johnson here. And we'll see what happens. You got Colston Loveland out there as well. We haven't seen it from Colston Loveland. It's hard to bank on one of these guys. I think I'm going to go with one of these opportunities from one of the Johnsons. I think it's Theo Johnson or Jawan. I'm going to lean Jawan here for you, Harris. Yeah, let's so I put together that list today. We kind of leaned into the touchdowns this week. Me and my friend Jesse kind of made the list. We like the tight ends today, man. I think I would be looking at the tight end props. If I just pull up the prop bets real quick. So here was the list that we went with. A lot of anytime touchdowns today, a lot of touchdowns on the bet. I like Jonathan Taylor over 100. I like Bijan over 90. So mostly touchdowns today. But let's just poke around here and see if we can find anything. I'll take a look at Woody Marks here shortly there for Chase. I don't really have a good read on this Bears Ravens game. I don't really want to bet on anything on the Ravens, but receiving props, I do think we see Romo Dunze maybe get into it today. I think Colston Loveland over 33.5 is one that I'm interested in. I think Odunze at 55.5. Those are the two Bears guys that I'm liking today. Odunze at 4.5 receptions. I think we could easily see him go over 5. And Loveland at 3.5. I kind of like Loveland today. So Loveland and Odunze's numbers are the ones that I'm liking from this game. Bills, Panthers. I think we see Rico Dowdle kind of take over the backfield today. Not like, 100% takeover, but I do think we see him kind of be the more useful back. But receiving yards today, again, I like Dalton Kincaid, 39.5. I do think Kincaid's receptions at 3.5. I'm taking the over on Kincaid today. And I kind of expect Jalen Coker to get more involved today. We saw him come back last week, knock some rust off. I think Coker's a sneaky one. Chuba Hubbard and Rico Dowdle, I don't have a great feeling on, but they're giving Rico 1.5 receptions today. So that over 11.5 on Rico, I think makes sense. I don't really have a good way to operate with the Bills receivers. I think Khalil Shakir, 4.5, maybe that's the squeaky wheel, but I think it's Kincaid to me that I like from the Bills game today. Giants Eagles, man, this is going to be a fun one. Yeah, man, I agree here with Christian. It's a big lean into the tight ends today, guys. Tyler Warren, I think George Kittle tight end props are I mean, he's the leader of the tight end National Tight Ends University Day, so he's looking really good. Let's just keep looking for a few more props here. I'm curious about what this offense looks like for Philadelphia with Devonta Smith as the lead receiver. Dallas Goedert numbers are going to be in play. No AJ Brown today. Let's take a look here at some of these receiving numbers here. They got Devonta Smith at 73.5, and they have him over 5.5 receptions. So they're liking Devonta Smith quite a bit today. They're also liking Dallas Goedert over 4.5. So those numbers are kind of juiced. I don't know if I take those. Maybe I look at the touchdowns for those guys. I do think Wan'Dale Robinson's kind of the sneaky guy here. He's been the lead receiver since Malik Neighbors went down, and he did have a big game against these guys. So I think Wan'Dale 50.5. 5.5 is a little tough, but I think the yards for Wan'Dale look pretty good. And then Cam Scatteraboo, he's been used more as a receiver, but I'm not in love with these numbers. I think you take the Theo Johnson yards, the 31.5 yards for Theo look pretty good. And then I think Darius Slayton, they got him catching 3 passes. The Darius Slayton 38.5 yards look intriguing. So I'm into that. Let me knock out a few more games here and we'll get back to some questions. I don't really want to look at the Browns-Patriots game. I think this is going to be really tough. It's going to be low scoring. I like the Judkins touchdown. I'm not quite sure what else I'm going to like in that game. I think it's going to be a little bit messy. Let's just take a peek at these Falcons numbers. Hopefully they've updated with no Drake London. I do think if you guys are doing prop bets today, like if you want to do a little bit of I like sticking to 2 and 3 leg parlays. Take a Bijan. One of my favorite ones to do today is probably take a Bijan touchdown with a Jonathan Taylor touchdown. That should kind of better the odds for you. So if you're looking for touchdown bets, Bijan plus JT might be where you're looking for. Otherwise, reception yards today, they got Pitts at 51.5 and Mooney at 57. I like the Achane numbers here, 33.5. They got Bijan at 45.5. That's pretty crazy. Receptions today, man, they got all these guys hitting their overs. So banking on a big day from Bijan, Pitts. Mooney, they're at 4.5. I might like the Mooney yard better than the receptions. Otherwise, I'm going to probably go with the receptions for some of these guys. So fun. I'm excited. It's going to be some weird football today. Kirk Cousins is playing. These guys are hammering the Joe Flacco touchdowns today. If we look at the passing props real quick, they're basically giving Joe Flacco 2 touchdowns. He's at minus 179 to go over. So I think banking on, Jamar Chase T. Higgins, those are fun touchdown bets for me. I also like Noah Fant. I think Noah Fant's a sneaky one today. They got Noah Fant here. It's 2.5 and it's minus 170. Let's see Noah Fant's yard. Noah Fant over 23.5 yards is one that I like quite a bit today. If he's getting his 4 catches, he's going over that number. Mason Taylor is the one guy that I expect to be the busiest. He might go over 4.5 receptions today. I think Mason Taylor is a good play from this game here. But Flacco, that's where I want to be. Let's talk about the Woody Marks question here. Thoughts on Woody Marks this week? The matchup is like I don't think people respect the 49ers defense enough. It is one of the better defenses in the league. I think this game might be kind of low scoring today between the Texans and the 49ers. Let's take a look here. San Francisco, where are you? They're kind of in the upper half here. They do allow about 22.5 points per game to the running back here, and they allow a lot of receiving work here. So this might be a good receiving day for Woody Marks. They're pretty average against the rush. But if we look at Woody Marks' numbers here, let's see. Why isn't it working? Receiving props for Woodward Marks. They got Woody Marks at 18.5 receiving yards, and they have him going over 2.5 receptions. I think I take the over on the 2.5. I do like Dalton Schultz in this game. I love George. This is the George Kittle game today, guys. I know he got the goose egg last week, but whether you take I'm willing to take all of his overs, whether it's receptions, yards, or the touchdown. I think I'm into that. They got Christian McCaffrey juiced here at 5.5. That could easily be hit for him. Dalton Schultz is at 5.5. I think you take the Dalton Schultz yards in this one. If he's catching 5 passes, he might be right there at 51.5. And then I think the sneaky one is going to be Jalen Noel for me. Him at 3.5, I think makes a lot of sense to hit that over. We're going to see a lot of dinking and dunking from Houston today as they can't really stretch the ball downfield. So I like Woody Marks today, but more so on the receiving side of things. And then I think the game you want to attack is Dallas and Denver. It's got 51.5 implied points. So if you're looking for props there, my guy Steven, I think I'm looking at this Dallas Broncos game for props. So hopefully that was a quick little rundown for you. Noah Fant. I'm in on Noah Fant today. I think you're going to see him catch probably 3 or 4 passes at least, and then the opportunity for 40, 50 yards and maybe a chance at a touchdown. I think you're probably looking at 8 to 10 PPR points out of Noah Fant today. Henry today without Lamar. The Bears defense against the running back, though, it is pretty bad. They've allowed 3 receiving touchdowns, though, but they have allowed about over 100 yards per game rushing. I think with Tyler Huntley, you're going to see Henry get his volume. And I know teams have been able to kind of stop Derrick Henry, but I mean, so here's the thing. If you guys struggle with making Henry versus Woody Marks, I'm looking at Henry here. He's minus 230 for a touchdown. If we were to go look at Woody Marks, I don't think he's close to that. So I usually, in a question like this, I'm going to go look at the touchdown odds for these guys. Again, Henry minus 230. They got Woody Marks plus 160. Very likely that Henry gets in the end zone today. I'm going Derrick Henry here. So, if you guys are ever, in a pinch and looking for something like that, I like to look at DraftKings, whatever sports book you use, look at the touchdown odds. And I'm usually going to play that guy with more odds. I still think I'm going to go Juwan Johnson here, Harris. And the reason being is I think the opportunity for the game script here from New Orleans looks pretty good. With Noah Fant, the Bengals could be up pretty quickly. We're expecting the Bengals to control the game, to win the game today. More passing attempts probably for the New Orleans Saints than the Bengals, but we shall see. I'm going to lean Juwan Johnson here over Noah Fant, but it's close. It's really down to a gut call if you have a good feeling about Noah Fant today, but I think Juwan's ceiling is looking pretty good. So, hey, we got 50 people in the live stream this morning. I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me this morning. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe if you guys are new. We already went over the actives and the inactives today. It's a wild week with the 6-team buys. We also have a lot of star power that is not playing in this week's game. So we kind of ran through those and then gave you guys a bunch of prop bets to be looking at. I just want to take a peek here at the NFL weather. and make sure we're looking good here. I think we're in good shape today, but we shall see. Let's see. We got a chance of rain in Atlanta, but it's in a dome. Cincinnati looks pretty good. Looks pretty clear throughout the day here. There's a slight chance of showers in Carolina today. Otherwise, we are looking for a pretty good, 70 in Denver today. So I really like this Dallas-Denver game. If you guys are setting lineups today, this had the highest implied odds of like 51.5. I think that's where you're looking for big points. Again, one of my favorite, if you guys are betting, one of the best prop bets I think for today is take a Bijan touchdown and parlay it with a JT touchdown, Jonathan Taylor. And then how about this Packers-Steelers game tonight? I'm pretty excited to see how that game goes. Looks like the weather should be okay for tonight. But I think that's going to do it. We have 61 people in the live stream tonight. So I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Enjoy the football week 8. Hopefully you guys get everything that you need. Check out the fantasyfellowship.com. There's a ton of good stuff on here. All the free stuff you can find under the content tab. Membership stuff is under the member tab. So I'm going to thank you guys again. If you guys do have questions, you guys can always either comment on the video after it's done or hit me up on Twitter X at @thefellowKGB. And thank you. This was a fun show this morning. Good luck, guys. We'll see you tomorrow evening for the Monday night recap. So have a good one. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.